I was there, lying on this long, porous, dumb body. It had been more than 2 days since the whale had swollen me up and saved me from the seas. I rested on its comfortable tongue. My jeans were slimy pressed against my legs. I had lost my trainers when I had been thrown overboard, so I was rubbing my bare feet against the watery layers of its enormous mouth. I often wedged my feet between the sofa cushions when we were watching TV all together, and asked Ma to beat them up real hard so the sofa could find a flawless shape again. We all have been separated. The boys left first, then they sent us instructions for the trip. We all had to meet again in Sicily, but Mom has decided to leave last. Asma said she wanted to say goodbye to her home alone in peace, touch each piece of furniture for the last time. Here I was feeling good. I heard the sound of the waves outside. At some point, the whale would slightly open the mouth and let in a small amount of multicolored algae. Neptune lace was the most beautiful, as a kind of lunar vegetable, salty and crisp. There were orange sponges, coralline, and sea lettuces. This broad belly nourished and rocked me softly at the slow rhythm of its swim. What a chance to have been born, to be me and not someone else. I had always been concerned about this thought. My most distant memories, I keep them from my children's thoughts. I thought of the chance that made me the daughter of my mother and my father. I hoped I would never leave another chance than this one. I wondered if before my birth I lived another life, with other parents, another school, another face. I couldn't picture how another destiny would be better than mine, so I stopped thinking about it because it was getting me really worried. The tongue of the whale was like a very large carpet, formed of millions of small arabesques, supple and irregular. The concept of different destinies didn't seem like anxiety to me no more. It was like the carpet. A life formed of quantity of small irregular arabesques. What a fate had triggered the war in my country. What life accident got me on the road with Asma, carried us on the camp, that got me on that boat, then threw me in the water, and then the whale. All of the situation's memories brought me back to the very first as an obvious one. The chance of being me was the only condition of happiness. The thickness of the waves was separating me from the threatening world outside. It was a dense and compact mass of full curious and living particles. The kind water layers stifled the sound of chaos from above. I looked at the bouquet of seaweed. The colors and shapes appeared to me as a natural coincidence. I understood that people prefer to believe in superstitions than to serenely admit uncertainty. Why rely on God when we can rely on alga? I got this from my mother. I think she believed more in soup than any divinity. Of course she believed in God, but she spent more time in markets and at the kitchen than at praying. So many stuffed vegetables, knitted pancakes, and chisel mint. If she stopped peeling the carrots, misfortune would be half all of her children. Aram, my oldest brother, was leading the escape operation. He did not speak much, and his face was always serious. Upon his arrival in Posayo, he called to reassure us and indicate the travel instructions. I had never seen him like that. The poor quality video of the phone showed a young man plagued with thousands of emotions at the same time. He was laughing, crying, greeting us with kisses. I was very uncomfortable. I did not think that he could ever have formulated such affections. Before, I really doubted of his love for us. I understood then that the ordeals could change others, and that he must surely have been very frightened too. Also, I think before he was really unhappy. My father had a cinema overlooking at a small street in Aleppo. Hiram was helping him to put the reels, to fix the spotlights. He was spending hours locked up with a pile of material around him, remaining in the clink of the metal. My father believed in the revolution of ideas, but I'm sure Hiram would have preferred the fight, to be head in the front. He wanted to manipulate weapons rather than those tame spotlights. The damp atmosphere and the regular undulations of the well helped my days. My body and thoughts were swaying under the sea of the rhythm of my memories. It was very nice to get carried away. I was not letting it go. I was conscious of being me. But I was listening to the great mammiferous body on march, and accepted the situation as beneficent. There was a dark blue city in front of our building. It had been installed on the sidewalk, leaning against the wall at the entrance of the residence. A tired tree dipped a little over the wall and overhung the blue sofa, like an umbrella. I used to like sitting there. The arms were embroidered with golden threads. Turn by turn, it was a high place of strategic discussions between the neighborhood's children during their war games. It was also a shadowy corner for my father's coffee, or an appointment of teenage laughter at dusk. I would like to sit there again, knowing everything I've learned since. I wanted to think it was impossible that I could find it less comfortable, but that's probably the case. Looking back, I realize I love my country very much. The superficial accent of the city no longer disturbs me, now that I'm far away. I do not hear it anymore. Now that I'm far away, I see more closely the beauty of the things of this place where I come from. Yet, I cannot resign myself to returning to it. Nothing will be as delicious as the vital enthusiasm of the people in my neighborhood. But there is no future possible for me there. I feel like my life is a huge contradiction. Asma was the most beautiful in my memory. She tilted her head slightly as she was speaking, so that her chin was always a little raised up, always oscillating between the challenge and the goodness. We both left. We had cut our hair short and borrowed old arm clothes to secure the journey. The most distressing was our stay in the camps on the Turkish border. The ground was muddy, and the people seemed frightened. The situation in general no longer terrorized me, even the unexpected crash of the bombs. On the other hand, glances of people leave a painful memory. The others had a great place in my interpretations of things. We had managed to build a tent in a dry corner of the camp. There were other families in the neighborhood, and I was surprised to see how kind affection can be woven quickly between perfect strangers. One evening, after sharing meager food rations distributed by a panicked European on mission, we lay down over their sheets and scarves, mismatched. The light of the neighboring encampments reached us through the stretched fabrics of our dwelling. It felt almost cozy. The printed flowers of the scarf blended into a happy summer patchwork. Without Asma, I think they would have a very different tint. She had taken my arm and opened the palm of my hand. She pressed my nails like a timid massage while whispering almost inaudible stories. She never invented them. She always evoked common memories by commenting on each person present and their importance in the action. They were stories, but I had already lived through them. We had shared the same room since her first day of her arrival at the house. In fact, she had always been there. Her family and mine were neighbors. Then her parents were taken away. Then she really moved in with us. I adored her as a sister who, thanks God, wasn't one. 7 years, my elder. She generally carried the veil in public, pierced by natural goodness. I think she had fallen asleep when I was thrown overboard. I gathered my courage. I wanted them to love us. The salt fever revived my hopes. Asma said, "Here is the Sagittarius, the raven, the whale, and the lion that shine in the black sky." I plunged into the wave, which caused the stars to stagger and waver, climbed the phosphorescent crest, descended to the hollow of the blades, and threw me at the assault of the other slope. In one breath, I opened my eyes, the sand in my throat, and the beach in my